Now at noon, breaking news. The man who tried to kill President Trump has just learned his fate.
Utility bills through the roof. The pushback against NIPSCO in Northwest Indiana.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for joining us today. I'm Sylvia Perez.
And I'm Natalie Bompke, and we begin with breaking news. The man convicted of attempting to kill President Donald Trump has been sentenced to life in prison.
59-year-old Ryan Wesley Roth was found guilty last year of trying to assassinate Trump at his West Palm Beach golf course in 2024. During that attack, a Secret Service agent spotted the gun and fired, chasing him off the course. Prosecutors had sought a life sentence with Roth, asking for a, quote, just punishment. This incident came months after another attempt on Trump's life in Pennsylvania. We'll have more on this story coming up later and, of course, this afternoon as well.
All right, let's give you a live look outside. You see the snow sticking with us for another day. It's cold out there, but Caitlin, relief could be coming soon.
It's coming. Temperatures above freezing by the end of the week, and the 40s possible next week. In the meantime, right now it is very cloudy. You saw from that live shot, it's gray outside. We also have seen rounds of some light snow near the lake. Behind me, I want to put this into motion so you can see where the snow is coming down. Portions of Northwest Indiana, especially in Lake County, you could be seeing some snow. Crown Point, also in Chicago, the potential for a few snowflakes for the city. The flurry activity, though, it's not going to lead to much travel issues I'm talking about. You might just see it out there with no accumulation expected, although we are going to have a few more rounds of snow over the next few days that could lead to some minor accumulation. Temperatures outside right now, it's chilly, 25 degrees at the lakefront, 24 at O'Hare as well as Midway, 27 in Aurora and in Kankakee. Temperatures in Northwest Indiana in the low to mid 20s, but our 3-day forecast has freezing on the way tomorrow. Chance for snow is back as well. Tomorrow is going to be the first half of the day, so about 9 a.m. until about 3 p.m. we have the chance for scattered snow showers, and then Friday morning, really Thursday night into early Friday, the chance for another round of wet weather, of snow turning over to a rain-snow mix as those temperatures climb. We could be near 40 degrees at the end of the week before temperatures drop again this weekend, and then the 40s are possible again next week. I'll show you that on your full forecast ahead.
Thank you, Caitlin. The Indiana man accused of killing the owner of a bar in Momence is expected to be extradited back to Illinois now to face charges.
Now, Julius Burks Jr. was arrested in Hammond on Tuesday. Investigators say he shot 30-year-old Courtney Drysdale inside the Line Bar. Courtney Drysdale was a mother of a young daughter and deeply loved by her customers. We're going to keep you updated on when the suspect is formally charged.
Effective immediately, we'll draw down 700 people.
The Trump administration is reducing the number of ICE officers in Minnesota.
Border Czar Tom Homan says he is satisfied with the cooperation that he's getting from local authorities. But will this change the outlook of ICE operations in Minnesota? Saquon joins us now in studio with the latest. So we heard from Tom Homan this morning. He held this news conference. And do we know exactly, like, did he give specifics on why he's cutting back ICE officers and how many?
Yeah, so we're talking about 700 federal agents that are going to be leaving Minnesota, and you heard from him right there, effective immediately. And he cited increased cooperation with local authorities, and we don't really know exactly what those details look like. What are they saying behind the scenes? But that's what he talked about really as part of that press conference. We also know that Tom Homan has really wanted this operation in Minnesota to end, but he keeps talking about that further cooperation. So we'll have to wait and see what that looks like. I will just give you a quick update on numbers. When this operation started, there were about 3,000 federal agents deployed to Minnesota. Right now, that number is at about 2,000. That number is coming from Tom Homan as well. Now, it is kind of important to note here, too, guys, we also are learning about talks of a potential agreement here, and it really is about ICE basically getting access to local jails. This is, again, very much in the talks right now. Nothing has necessarily been approved yet, but this is a legal agreement that was drafted by the Sheriff's Union in Minnesota. And, you know, really the question now with this agreement is, what is the legality of all of this? Because state law right now kind of prohibits that. So basically, if this agreement really does go through, it would give county jails the option to join that agreement. If they join that agreement, ICE would pay local jails $2,500 per inmate. Now, that, of course, also depends on how long they're allowed to, be held at these jails. But once again, these are just talks. This is something that our sister station in the Twin Cities reported on. So we'll have to wait and see. But this announcement with, the withdrawal of these federal agents comes right after this news broke.
So another big topic that has been discussed is wearing body cameras. Understand Homeland Security is actually saying we're going to make sure that they have the money to make this happen. When is that expected?
Yeah, I mean, when Kristi Noem said that, the DHS secretary, she said it was going to be effective immediately. She kind of pointed to the fact that these body cameras were something that they were working on right away. So they should be rolling out as we speak right now. It sounded like an early target of early February. So they should be rolling out right now. And she even said that this is going to be an expansion nationwide as funding is available.
And then lawmakers, we know, they just ended the partial government shutdown. Right. They did not agree on a budget for DHS. And there are some stipulations that Democrats want to see before they agree to anything. What are those stipulations?
Yeah, there's kind of a long list of demands from Democratic lawmakers as well. And what they're asking for is, for ICE agents to stop conducting these random stops that we have seen happen all across the state there. They're asking for stricter warrant requirements as well. Show that proof before you enter or before you detain someone. Body cameras, which we know are being rolled out. A ban on masks. We know that's been a really big conversation as well. Who are these people? Why can't we see their faces? And then also code of conduct and accountability. We know that's been talked about. And of course, sensitive location requirements as well. With, ICE kind of patrolling schools and sensitive areas, they want to make sure that there's less of that happening in Minnesota.
It's going to be interesting to see what happens there because there's talk that ICE could be making another visit to Chicago. It's going to be interesting to see how all of this plays into what happens to us locally as well. Yeah. Okay. Thanks so much, State. We appreciate it. In less than 1 hour, several NIPSCO customers in Northwest Indiana will be protesting outside of the company's corporate headquarters.
This morning, the company's representatives appeared in Indianapolis for an evidentiary hearing about its billing discrepancies. And Brett Bugansky live in studio to talk a little bit more about this. And Brett, I mean, this is such a huge issue. You feel for these people, and it's an issue that we wonder, hey, is it coming here to Illinois? So before we get started diving too much into this, apparently we've been getting calls and emails from viewers about their bills, and you've been fielding those. It's
on a daily basis. Yes. In fact, I'm getting some messages right now. So what I'm holding right here is emails from NIPSCO customers just complaining about their high bills. So this was submitted as evidence today in Indianapolis as the company is under investigation for how they charge people for gas. So the Indiana Utility Regulatory Commission, which approves any utility rate increases for the state of Indiana, is looking specifically into NIPSCO's automated meter readings, and it found there was enough evidence to look into what they consider to be billing discrepancies. And the commission found the company did not provide notice or explanation to the customers about why this was happening. So as part of this investigation, the Regulatory Commission says it was NIPSCO staff that found this issue was not insignificant. So I've reached out to NIPSCO and requested an interview with their CEO, Vince Parisi. I'm still waiting to hear back. So in the past, NIPSCO has told me the reason bills have gone up this much was because of market demand, the price of natural gas going up, but it also said its customers are indeed paying for maintaining and upgrading its infrastructure. But of course, many I spoke to said they were not satisfied by that answer. They feel like there's something more to this, which is why there's going to be a protest happening outside company headquarters at 1 p.m. So as soon as I get done here in studio, I'm going to be going out there because they're expected to be hundreds of people showing up at that protest because this has become an affordability issue. In fact, Natalie, you had the one couple that reached out to us. Their bill, they're on a budget plan. More than $1,400. They were having some surgery scheduled. They had to have it rescheduled because their NIPSCO bills are that high.
I can't. $1,400 a month, Sylvia.
That's ridiculous. So what is being done to try to get immediate help? Are lawmakers getting involved at all? Is there anything that can happen?
There was one bill that passed the House. It's now on its way to the Senate, and it's about having a little bit more knowledge, or at least a heads up into how much their bills are going up. However, the big issue is not in the long term. They need customers here in Northwest Indiana need immediate relief. So there have been some proposals about potentially getting rid of the sales tax. Every time they had those amendments, It failed on the House floor. It is controlled by the Republican-controlled legislator in Indiana, saying that it's going to affect the tax base there. So that was the reason why they decided to not give that immediate relief. But for the time being, this is why you're having these protests here, and they need some regulatory. At least they need the regulatory commission, they feel, to step in and get a hold on some of these bills.
Which I don't even know why we're out of time. This regulatory commission didn't step in the first place if they have to approve these rate hikes and say, we're not going to do that to the people of Indiana. But that's a conversation for another time.
God, you have to feel for them.
You
okay,
do.
thanks for that
Thank
so much,
you, Brett.
We appreciate it. Much more to come on Fox 32 News at noon.
President Trump stirring up debate after saying he would like to see elections nationalized. But what exactly does that mean? We're going to speak with a law professor.
The desperate search for Today Show host Savannah Guthrie's mother, Nancy, continues. The latest on several ransom notes sent to multiple media outlets.
If you need
President Trump is calling for nationalizing voting. It's just the latest in a series of proposed election changes he would like to see happen. But what exactly does that mean?
So joining us to explain is Carolyn Shapiro, professor of law at Chicago-Kent College, where she teaches constitutional law. Explain what this means to nationalize an election.
Well, there's no mechanism to nationalize an election. The Constitution provides that states handle elections. Congress has some ability to regulate things like time, place, and manner. So Congress sets election day for federal offices only. And the rest is, most of the rest is up to the states. Congress has determined that we vote by district. Congress could change that. But there's no infrastructure, there's no mechanism, and there's no constitutional authority to nationalize elections.
Okay, so what's the end goal with this then? When you say nationalize, you just said, we do it by districts, we all vote in our own areas. What is the end goal by making it nationalized?
Well, I don't know what President Trump thinks he means by nationalize, but I'll just say again, it's not possible under the Constitution to have elections run at the national level. We don't have the infrastructure for it. But I mean, honestly, I think what he's doing is he's trying to suggest that elections run, particularly in Democratic states and in cities, are not trustworthy, which there is absolutely no evidence to support. He tried to argue that in 2020 when he lost. He filed 61 lawsuits and lost 60 of them. I'll say election workers, people who run elections. I've talked to many of them. I've poll watched myself. They are people of enormous integrity, and the people that they work with who come into the and do the actual work on election day are public servants of enormous integrity, and there's just no basis for suggesting either that there's a reason we would need to nationalize or that there's a mechanism for doing so.
And this comes at a time where the SAVE Act, Congress is looking at that to require more identification for voters when they go to the polls. Do you think it's time to take a look, maybe a second look at how elections are covered in this country or conducted, and maybe making changes? Or should we just leave it up to the founders and keep it as is?
Well, there are many changes that we could make that would be perfectly constitutional. For example, we could go to multi-member districts or more proportional representation in Congress, or we could add seats to Congress. So there are lots and lots of things that we could do that are consistent with the Constitution that Congress has the power to do. Simply having the national government take over elections isn't one of them. They're locally controlled, and you know what that would mean in terms of the relationship between state and local elections and federal elections if we were to nationalize elections is its own question. I mean, most of the time when we go to the polls, we might be voting for federal elected officials, we might be voting for state and local officials, but we are never voting for federal officials only unless it's a special election. We're always voting for state and local as well, at least in Illinois, and I think in most states, because that's the systems are so deeply enmeshed because the states have always run elections. Again, it doesn't mean there aren't things that could be done to improve. And for example, the Voting Rights Act is one such mechanism that Congress passed originally in 1965 to protect Black voters primarily from voting discrimination. The Supreme Court has chipped away at those protections, which I think is unfortunate. But again, that has to do with how states run elections, not whether or not the national government takes over.
All right, Carolyn Shapiro with Kent College, we thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Thanks, Carolyn. The investigation into the disappearance of Today Show host Savannah Guthrie's mother, Nancy, is now in day 4.
Authorities are processing DNA and working to obtain possible security camera footage. Alicia Acuna has more.
Days after Nancy Guthrie disappeared from her Arizona home, TMZ and several local news stations reported receiving alleged ransom notes by email. The notes contain details of the crime scene not known to the public, as well as a demand for millions in Bitcoin in exchange for Nancy's safe return. The outlets say they turned the emails over to law enforcement.
It would have to reveal things pretty readily that only somebody that was on site would know.
Late Tuesday, a Pima County Sheriff's helicopter returned to Nancy Guthrie's home and hovered over specific areas. It comes after the sheriff said investigators cleared the crime scene and handed the home over to family after processing DNA testing.
We've submitted all kinds of samples for DNA, and we've gotten some back, but nothing to indicate any suspects.
Authorities say they are also counting on security camera footage inside the home that may not have uploaded to the cloud, but could be in a server.
If they're pulling stuff from the cloud or from the server, it takes time. They may have to send it to Quantico and get that done.
And the New York Post is reporting that the FBI spent about 2 hours at the home of Savannah Guthrie's sister Annie. The Today Show host is believed to have also been there. President Trump was asked about the investigation on Tuesday.
I'm going to call her later on. I think it's a terrible thing. I always got along very good with Savannah. Very unusual situation, but we're going to find out.
Tonight, a candlelight service will be held for Nancy Guthrie at a local church. In Tucson, Arizona, Alicia Acuna, Fox News.
Let's take a live look outside on this winter's day. Yeah, you still see that snow cover, but hey, feeling pretty mild out there. It's all relative, isn't it, Caitlin?
Isn't it? The 40s are going to feel like Florida for us.
No kidding.
Right now, we do still have a little bit of lake effect snow. So I'm talking about flurry activity. We've been watching it on the radar. We even saw the flakes flying over our beautiful city. Yes, it is very winter-like. Cloudy, too. But as we take a look at our map, you can see the lake effect bands pushing down into portions of Lake County near Crown Point, eastern Will County, southern Cook County, and even just north of downtown between Evanston and downtown. We have a little bit of light snow. Kane, Kendall County even showing some returns, but I wouldn't expect much for accumulating snowfall over the next few days. In fact, we're going to have multiple rounds of snow with about a ½ inch or less accumulation. So even though we have the snow potential today, especially hugging the lake, it's not going to lead to much. Temperatures outside right now are ranging in the 20s. It's 25 degrees at the lakefront and in Gary, 22 in Chicago Heights, and 27 in Kankakee, 22 at Woodstock. Here's the rest of our day. Our futurecast showing, again, temperatures pushing to the upper 20s. We're going up from there. Over the next couple of days, the 30s will be here. But tonight, we're dropping down into the teens. Quiet night ahead before the chance for snow is back tomorrow early. This is 7:30, starting to see some blue on our maps. Between the morning time and mid-afternoon, we have the chance for scattered light snowfall. Temperatures are going to be hovering right around the low 30s. We could be tagging 32 degrees tomorrow afternoon. And then on Friday, the chance for wet weather is back. It'll be mostly Thursday night into early Friday. We could see a mix of rain and snow as those temperatures push to the mid-30s by midday with highs in the upper 30s on Friday. And then this weekend, it will be a touch cooler. Saturday right around 27 and then 34 expected Sunday. But next week, that's when the 40s could be back. Again, keep in mind 32 is our normal high, and I do expect to get there, if not close, as soon as tomorrow. It's 12:21. Stay with us.
Aurora's getting ready to host a major junior golf event this summer. Phillips Park Golf Course will welcome the inaugural Chicago Junior All-Star Championship, featuring nearly 100 elite young golfers from across the region.
And joining us to talk more about this is Aurora's Superintendent of Golf Operations, Jeff Schmidt. Jeff, thanks for joining us.
Thank you. Good afternoon.
Great to see you. This is a wonderful opportunity for these young people who love golf. Tell us why Aurora was chosen to host this event.
You know, this is a wonderful opportunity for the city of Aurora and Phillips Park Golf Course to host a caliber tournament with the AJGA. You know, the golf course is an ideal setting for young players, which is going to be competing in this event at ages 12 to 15, boys and girls. It's going to challenge them. You know, we're just really looking forward to showcasing the golf course and what we have to offer and create a wonderful experience for the players and the families.
Jeff, how are these players selected? What is at stake for them? And if maybe families want to come and check it out, what can they see?
So the process, the players have to be members of the American Junior Golf Association, and then they register for events where their eligibility falls. The field is going to consist of 96 players, boys and girls, ages 12 to 15. Monday there will be a qualifier a day before the event for 8 spots to complete the 96 player field. So it's going to be a very competitive event for just getting those vying for those last spots, I apologize, to complete the field, but they register the American Junior Golf Association to get registered for the event.
Tell us, what is the significance of this, not only just for obviously being able to place, but for these young players to be able to be involved in something like this, and here it is happening in your own backyard. I mean, this is pretty special.
Yeah, it's real special. As a PGA professional, you know, this is a milestone for me and for our facility to host an event of this caliber. The American Junior Golf Association is the premier junior tournament series for players that garners over 10,000 members from all 50 states, including 51 countries and territories outside the U.S. So it's a 12-month-year program that these players are competing for. You know, it's for the players, you know, who are looking to compete further on out of high school and to the collegiate level with aspirations to playing in the big show. But this is going to be a premier event showcasing the best talent for boys and girls.
Jeff, this runs Monday, June 15th. That is that qualifier that you mentioned through Thursday, June 18th. Besides the game itself, are you going to have activations for families that want to come out and see what it's all about?
Oh, absolutely. It's going to be inviting for everybody. Anybody who wants to come out and watch these young players compete and check out their swings and their talents and show off their skills. It's going to be an open event for all families to come in from the community as well outside the community. It's going to be an open event. That
sounds like fun. And I love that. I love your title, which is Superintendent of Golf Operations. What a fun job. Am I right?
Yeah, it's a long title. It's a lot of fun. It's a very rewarding career for sure.
Well, it sounds like it's well-deserved. So congratulations to you for that, and good luck with everything. It sounds like it's going to be spectacular.
Thank you very much. Appreciate
Thanks,
it.
Jeff.
Yeah, you take care. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Let's take a live look outside and let's head over to Caitlin to find out what you can expect. When are those 40s again?
Ooh, the 40s next week. Cannot wait.
Yeah.
But the 30s, they'll be here tomorrow.
That's good too, actually.
And Friday, we're
Yes.
flirting with 40. All right, so live look outside. Unfortunately, today we do have the clouds in place, and you could see some light snow, especially near the lake. So we're talking about lake effect snow showers today, but highs in the 20s and 30s turning over, as you just heard, to the 40s next week. But we have a little bit of a chilly weekend ahead. But above freezing temperatures, cannot wait for that. The last time we were above freezing was the middle of last month. Radar right now showing the blue, the light snow coming down in portions of Lake County, Kankakee, Will County, even in Chicago. A little bit of snow flurry activity is not out of the question. So light snow possible today. Right now, temperatures are ranging in the 20s. I do see the upper 20s for western areas like Aurora, Joliet, Kankakee, Morris, LaSalle. You're right around 27 to 28. A little bit colder from Lake and McHenry County, where it is only 22 in Waukegan and 23 at Woodstock. Northwest Indiana, low to mid 20s for you right now. 25 degrees in Gary, 24 at the lakefront. So highs today in the upper 20s. 28 degrees is where I expect our high to land. Northwest wind around 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tonight, dropping down to about 16 with that west wind around 5 to 10. So it's going to be a chilly night with partly cloudy skies. And then we work our way into Thursday, where highs are going to be right around freezing, which is where we should be. But we also have the chance for some snow, especially the first half of the day. We could see some scattered snow with mostly cloudy skies, so a few breaks in the clouds. In fact, even by later this evening and tonight, the clouds are expected to start to break apart. Here's your future cast because I want to show you when the snow moves in. So again, today, especially over the next few hours, we could still see some light lake effect snow, but scattered snow showers expected the first half of the day tomorrow. 2:30 in the afternoon on your Thursday. Still mostly cloudy, but also mostly quiet, and temperatures around freezing. And then our next round of snow. This is going to happen Thursday night into early Friday. Scattered snow mixing in with some rain as temperatures push to the mid and upper 30s on Friday. So here's your 7-day forecast. Today, upper 20s. Tomorrow, low 30s. 38 degrees, our warm spot for this week on Friday. Although we are going to be fighting with cloud cover. It's not going to be a sunny 38, unfortunately, with that chance for snow, especially early. And then this weekend, Saturday, a little bit chilly. I mentioned how we're going to have that little bit of a dip on Saturday, 27 degrees as our high. Back to 34 by Sunday, though. And then next Monday and Tuesday, the 40s are expected. Back to you.
Sounds good. Thanks, Caitlin. Well, Congress has less than 10 days to come up with an agreement on funding for ICE or else risk a partial government shutdown.
Again, but Democrats are making significant demands here. Political correspondent Paris Schutz joins us now to break it down. And luckily for us, Paris just spoke with one of them, that is Illinois Senator Tammy Duckworth. And what did she have to say?
Well, Natalie and Sylvia, it wasn't Groundhog Day a couple days ago. No, it's every day in Washington. It's always Groundhog Day when it comes to shutdowns. But this deal that they struck means that they're going to have 2 weeks to figure out a funding package for the Department of Homeland Security, which is the government agency that houses ICE and Customs and Border Patrol. And it's going to be difficult to come to an agreement because, as you know, Democrats want to reduce funding and they want significant new restrictions on what ICE agents can do. One of the things that Senator Duckworth told me was she wants independent investigations of some of these shootings or violations of use of force because she does not trust that internally they will do a thorough or true investigation. So she says that's her red line. She's not voting on anything unless it involves like an inspector general coming in investigating, for instance, the shooting of Marimar Martinez or Renee Good or things to that effect. Other Democrats want to make sure that you have a judicial warrant to go deport somebody, grab someone and deport them, which is a complicated thing to do. Republicans are not in favor of this, so it's going to be hard to see how they come to an agreement. But Tammy Duckworth, I just spoke with, and here's a little bit of what she had to say.
We're talking about out of control, under-trained ICE agents with no guardrails on them, terrorizing the streets of our cities. And I'm hearing from people, in Illinois who are telling me this needs to end. Put some guardrails up, and that's what I'm attempting to do.
And Duckworth had spoken with Marimar Martinez, who had given her testimony yesterday. I mean, it was harrowing. I mean, to be shot 5 times, to be near death, of course, it's a harrowing experience. So Duckworth impacted by that. But then Democrats have disagreements among themselves. Some of the far-left folks want to abolish ICE. I spoke with Congressman Brad Schneider, who's more of a moderate last night. He said, no. We don't want that kind of extreme element. We need border security. So how are you going to come to an agreement with all these divisions? I don't know how it's going to happen. It'll be very interesting to watch.
It sounds very complicated. Okay, let's switch gears here because surprise news, the Chicago Teachers Union saying that Stacey Davis Gates is taking leave. What's going on?
Very surprising news. They informed their union members last night that the union president, Stacey Davis Gates, who is ubiquitous, we know how powerful she is, we know how influential she is with Mayor Brandon Johnson, with the schools, and she's led the CTU for many years, apparently stepping aside for medical issues, so she will not be running the union in the interim. So we got a statement just a couple minutes ago saying, quote, President Davis Gates shared with her members that she'll be on a planned and anticipated temporary medical leave. During that time, Vice President Potter, as well as the other officers, will temporarily provide leadership for the union. They ask her privacy be respected. I mean, it comes amid a stressful time. The CTU is at the center of politics in Chicago, but also we have the federal government, Congress, scrutinizing their union finances and some allegations that there might be some untoward activity here with the finances. We don't know. We also don't know that the two are related. We only have this information that she is on a temporary medical leave for health issues. Obviously, we wish the best. We wish good health for anybody, and for State President Gates, very stressful position, obviously, to be in the position she's in. So prioritizing health, relaxation, obviously a very important thing. And we wish nothing but her health and safety, and hope that she comes back.
Real quick, we want to kind of go back over what we talked about with the Mayor Johnson signing on Saturday, and the big confusion going on with the state's attorney and this. Tell us.
We finally got a response from the Cook County State's attorney. Remember, the executive order, Mayor Johnson, other Democrats want the state's attorney to prosecute ICE agents. She finally came forward with a long statement, and I'll just paraphrase it. It's very complicated, but boiling it down, she's saying she doesn't really have a lot of authority to investigate unless a local police agency starts an investigation. So like in the case of Silverio Villegas Gonzalez, it would have to be like the Franklin Park police starting an investigation and then handing it off to her. But then she says she has very limited jurisdiction to prosecute another federal law enforcement agency. It's similar to what Police Superintendent Snelling said. We don't arrest other law enforcement. So Burke is of the opinion that prosecutors can't really do much here in terms of holding ICE agents accountable. Other district attorneys have basically been more aggressive in this. Burke taking a more of a hands-off, wait-and-see approach.
Is that executive order that kind of really not mean anything?
I think it, I think it just sets the stage for police and others to do more observation and to document what's happening. Beyond that, it can't do much more.
Paris, thank you so much.
You got it. You got it, Natalie. And Sylvia.
We'll be right back.
Taking a live look at the New York Stock Exchange. Right now, the Dow Jones is trading down 26 points.
Now it's time to look at your business headlines with CJ Papa.
More people were using Uber, and they were taking more trips in the recent quarter. The ride service saw its revenue jump in the period. Trips were up more than 20% from a year ago. The number of monthly active customers rose by 18%. Tuesday's software sell-off being attributed to a new AI tool from Anthropic. It could have potential to take over functions now performed by business and other software. This, as a new Fox News poll shows, nearly 3 in 5 registered voters think artificial intelligence is moving too fast. Over 60% of women, white voters, and Americans over 65 and Democrats believe AI is being used too quickly. Along with over 50% of men, Americans under 30, and Republicans, as well as 47% of non-white voters. Coca-Cola is expanding its cherry lineup. The company says its new cherry float flavor delivers a nostalgic twist on cherry flavor with a smooth, creamy vanilla profile. A zero-sugar version of this new drink is available as well, and fans of Diet Coke Cherry can find it back on store shelves due to popular demand. That's business. CJ Papa, Fox Chicago.
Hi.
What's happening in the world of entertainment? Only one man knows the answer. That would be Jake Hamilton.
Well, I mean,
right?
you know, I'm the only guy at the desk maybe that knows the answer, but other people know. We know, but yeah, we've got a lot of things going on, actually. So this is pretty cool. The official trailer, I'm actually very excited about this, for The Devil Wears Prada 2 is now out. Here's a little look.
Hello? Well, look what TJ Maxx dragged in.
Sorry. Who is this? Do you know her? Do I know her?
I'm Andy Sachs. Andrea.
She was one of the Emilys.
One of the what?
Meryl Streep returns as Miranda. Anne Hathaway is back as Andy. The trailer takes viewers back into the world of high fashion, a very cutthroat world of Runway magazine with old rivalries and new challenges. The Devil Wears Prada 2 set to premiere in theaters on May 1st.
Okay, I'm looking forward to it, but I'm nervous about this.
I am nervous, especially
Because I
anytime
love
there's
that
those
first
legacy
one.
sequels where it's been a while. There's always that
Exactly.
vibe of can they capture the magic?
Yeah.
But, you know,
I
I'd like
just
to...
want to see the fashion.
Yeah.
And there's
That's
going to be
all I
plenty of it.
care about.
But Meryl,
Yes.
she's so good
She's
in
the
that
best.
part. So,
yeah. And Stanley Tucci. I
Stanley
love
Tucci's great. Yeah. All right. And we're also getting a closer look at the actors in the upcoming Beatles biopics. The postcard-style photos, they seem to show Paul Mescal as Paul McCartney, Harris Dickinson as John Lennon, Barry Keoghan as Ringo Starr, and Joseph Quinn as George Harrison, all dressed up as the legendary rock band. The four-part film event, 4 movies.
Wow.
Theaters April 2028.
2028.
You got time. They got to make 4 movies. A streaming showdown on Capitol Hill. Netflix's co-head faced lawmakers on Tuesday over concerns about its planned merger with Warner Brothers. Netflix wants to buy Warner Brothers Discovery for $83 billion cash. Some senators raised alarms over a potential entertainment monopoly and the risk of higher subscription prices.
Our antitrust laws are designed to ensure that independent studios, smaller streaming services, and new entrants are not shut out and left unable to compete with companies that control both content and distribution.
We will preserve one of the 5 major studios in Hollywood. We'll support theaters by releasing those movies with traditional 45-day windows. And we'll keep growing the American entertainment industry.
Netflix is already the world's largest streaming service with 325 million subscribers in 190 countries. We're going to keep you posted as federal regulators decide if this deal gets the green light.
There was a line that I feel was crossed.
He's grabbing my legs.
It's wrong, and for some reason, no one really seemed to see it.
It's a TV show to you guys, but this is my life.
I realized Tyra would do anything for the success of her show.
I knew I went too far.
Speaking of Netflix pulling back the curtain on America's Next Top Model. This is called Reality Check inside America's Next Top Model. It revisits the rise of the reality TV phenomenon while examining the drama, controversy, and behind-the-scenes chaos which shaped its legacy. The 3-part documentary feature exclusive interviews with Tyra Banks, Jay Manuel, Miss Jay Alexander, so many different contestants. It premieres February 16th. I never really watched.
Yeah, that one. I don't think I did. Did you?
No.
But it was popular.
Oh, I definitely remember.
It almost makes me want to see
does,
the documentary.
Yeah, I kind of, yeah.
I was going to say, we were maybe the only 3 who didn't.
Yeah, maybe so. Maybe so. They did one maybe last year on Behind the Scenes of the Jerry Springer Show, which that I watched. It was fascinating because also like that was. Like, yeah, many people remember that show, but that was also such a part of Chicago.
Right,
That was such a Chicago story. So that's why I really wanted to see it, and that's a really fascinating one.
I bet that was fascinating.
Yeah. I can't wait till Good Day Chicago, behind the scenes. Behind the scenes of Fox 32 News at noon.
I feel like we put it all out there. So,
yeah, I mean, this is basically
not much
it.
more to see.
Yeah, that's basically it.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
We'll be back.
A lot of people are turning to a new ally in the quest to lose weight, AI.
But can the advice from a chatbot be digested for results that you can actually trust? Anita is kicking off our Chicago Live interviews with a Chicago-based expert. Very interesting, Anita.
Listen, ladies, just days ago we were talking about lawsuits coming from the side effects of GLP-1s. So on this particular topic, I am so team talk to a trusted health expert. Christine Palumbo is with the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics. Certainly appreciate you joining us today.
I'm really happy to be here, Anita. Thank you.
You know, the downsides to this trend seem pretty obvious, but do you find any positives in this world of misinformation?
Well, we certainly have plenty of positives, but let me just share with you some new data from the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics. So they found that nearly half of consumers, or 46%, report acting on tips from influencers, and 1 in 4 rely on social media exclusively for their nutrition information. And as you mentioned, AI platforms are now entering the nutrition space, adding yet another layer of complexity. So eye-catching nutrition claims often go viral, even when they lack credible scientific support. You know, we've all seen the sensational headlines, the myths, the quick fixes that tend to outperform evidence-based guidance in online spaces. And, you know, we all remember what, you remember what your mama used to say, if it seems too good to be true.
Sure. Probably
Finish that sentence.
Yeah, probably is. But in that same vein, do you see any sliver of a glass half full approach to it?
Well, consumers need to use a critical eye, and again, look to see, where is the information coming from? If it's coming from, an influencer who does not have the scientific background, does not have the educational background that a credentialed nutrition expert would have, then, be very careful. So make sure that the nutrition advice that you're following comes from someone who is credentialed, such as a registered dietitian nutritionist or RDN, or a dietetic technician registered, because they are the nutrition experts with the educational background and continuing education every year.
Yeah, I mean, we might not shift people's habits all at once in terms of going to the internet for information, but if nearly half of all Americans, as you say, are turning to unaccredited sources, what does it do to your industry?
Well, it actually provides great opportunities for dietitians and dietetic technicians, because we have the tools. Consider working with a nutrition and dietetics professional who can provide personalized, evidence-based guidance tailored to your individual health needs, goals, and lifestyles. So it gives us the opportunity to customize something. It's not a one-size-fits-all. Each individual client of ours, we take all of their background into consideration, their health issues, if any, their nutrition goals, and we tailor a personalized meal plan and healthcare plan for them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so what are the ways would you say that your organization specifically is trying to reclaim trust, essentially?
Well, I don't think we have ever lost trust. Registered dietitians are the gold standard in terms of our educational background, and I think that, we need to really share the good news that we are here for our clients here in the Chicago area and across the country. So many times people don't know where to turn. And again, thinking back to the social media sources, friends and family, influencers, television programs that promise quick fixes, think about the trusted individuals, who hold, are credentialed and,
I think
have licenses. Yeah.
That's most certainly the biggest thing here. Thank you so much for your time. We really appreciate it.
And you can find a nutrition expert at eatright.org/find a nutrition expert.
Christine, thank you. Everybody will be right back.
Thanks.
Donald Trump.
For Best in Show at the 150th Westminster Kennel Club Dog Show is the Doberman Pinscher.
And he's so cute. Petty the Doberman Pinscher.
Or she is.
She, that's right.
Yes.
It's a she. She got a standing ovation after winning Best in Show at the 150th Annual Westminster Kennel Club Dog Show in New York. She is the first Doberman to win since 1989.